Hello, everyone. My guest today is Steven Ryan. He is the co-founder. Actually, in 2009, he pulled a life 180, quit his sales job, and taught himself how to code and launched a profitable SaaS company in exactly 1 year. He's a Seattle native, Texas Hill Country transplant, today, again, based down here in Texas, working with an entirely remote team across 3 countries as he works to build his company, Convey Your. Steven, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am.
All right, so this should be really easy, right? Because you listen to the show.
I do.
All right, so what do you got?
Yeah, so we're a micro-learning platform. We are working with companies from Fortune 500 companies all the way down to individual corporate trainers. We started back in 2009 with our first product, like you said. About 2016, we launched Convey Your out of beta. And that's when we started. We basically, what we're trying to do is kill corporate boring training, right? With micro learning. So if you think about how typical e-learning is, we're trying to do the opposite and do more of like what marketing automation platforms are doing, which is timely, relevant, personalized messaging spread out over time.
Okay. And sorry, just to make sure I get this right. So you launched Convey Your in 2016, you said?
Yeah, that's correct.
But between 2009 and 2016, you were doing what?
A lot. So our first product, WebPDI, it's a sales rep relationship manager, kind of like a CRM, but for sales reps. And that's the product that we first launched with. We were building that. We also had a voter relationship management platform. We did a few other things, but really our bread and butter is Convey Your now.
And what made you pivot to that in 2016?
Yeah, so my co-founder had started basically like a talent agency for speakers and thought leaders in Bend, Oregon. And he was he's basically building like high-end e-learning experiences for corporate trainers. And they just saw a lot of problems with how e-learning had been built. It's typically like a WordPress, large MOOC with lots of units. And they had really bad engagement on those courses. Simply not because of how they built it, but because of the format. And so he and I started working together to launch Convey Your for his company, basically. Like our first beta was his company. And it developed into the platform it is now.
Interesting. Okay, very good. So 2016 was kind of like the official launch. And walk me through what your revenue model is. Is it pure play SaaS company?
Yeah, pure play SaaS. We have a little bit of service for one of our customers, but it's all SaaS. Our lowest plan is $100 per month. And then we have, our corporate customers around $1,000 a month.
Okay. And what have you scaled to over the last 2 years in terms of total customers?
Total customers have actually shrunk because we're going more up market. So we're only at about 100 customers right now.
Okay.
And we've been slowly reversing, like increasing our LTV. So
that's good. I want to jump more into that in a second here in terms of how you're doing that. What's revenue today though, first?
So revenue ARR is about 845,
okay.
145K.
And that's all SaaS, or is there a big lump sum professional services stuff included in that?
No, that's only about 10% professional services.
Okay, got it.
Or less, probably about 5% actually.
Okay, so about 40 grand of the 845 in ARR is professional service.
That's correct.
Okay, so call it 800 grand in kind of pure play SaaS revenue, which comes out to about, what is that, 70 grand per month, right?
Yeah, about that.
That's good. And so that would actually be, if you have 100 customers at that 70 grand price point, that would mean the average is one's paying you about $700 a month?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And walk me through. So first off, the moment you realized you wanted to go upstream, what was that moment and why'd you make that decision?
Yeah. So we first started the product with our first beta customers were corporate trainers, thought leaders, somebody like yourself, right? Somebody who does a lot of speaking, somebody who wants to digitize like a follow-up after a speaking event. Okay. And we still have those customers.
Are you pitching me? Is that what's happening right now?
No.
Sold. Just kidding.
Sold. So the thing with our platform is that it does require, just like any marketing automation platform, it takes time to like set it all up, right? And get the right messaging and create the correct funnels and all that. But a lot of people in that space are on planes a lot. They're really busy and they don't have a huge team, right? So it's difficult for them to implement. There's a lot of value there, but it was difficult for them to get the time. So we had to start adding like a network of instructional designers and things like that to help them. And it just became a little bit more involved for that price point. And so we started, what was beautiful is that we started having these corporate trainers sharing. I'll give you an example. We had one corporate trainer ran this for, a few Fortune 500 companies, which I'm not going to name right now, but they end up being our customers as well because they liked it so much. And so we thought, hey, this is a great play. Like we can start with the $100 plan with these corporate trainers. They introduce the product to these larger corporations, and those corporations become our customers.
Now, despite you shrinking your customer base a little bit and you moving kind of upstream, has revenue still grown year over year?
Yeah, revenue has grown and it's in kind of a Pareto principle. It's grown with the largest of our customers, right? We're still trying to improve that 90% in terms of the revenue.
Well, so let me ask you, like a year, if you're at like 70 grand a month today, Pure Play SaaS, where were you a year ago in Pure Play SaaS?
A year ago, we were at about 500.
Okay, in ARR, so about 60 grand a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've added about 10K, and what you're saying is, again, it's this weird balance of you're losing customers paying you less, you're gaining customers that are paying you more, and you generally, you like that. You can service your customer base better now.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, I'd rather have 80 customers paying $1,000 a month.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, have you bootstrapped this or raised?
Bootstrapped. So it's been all bootstrapped. Our first product, we were fortunate that Web PDI, our first product, was launched in 1 year, and we made about $100,000 the first year.
Profit or just revenue?
Profit, yeah. So it was pretty great. We launched it kind of in a bucket, right? It was internally sold to the company we had been working for, and so it launched very quickly, and it was in high need. And then from there, we've been building products that have been profitable ever since. We've never taken a debt or borrowed any money. And then we've been funding this with the profits from our largest customers. So
that's great. Look, that makes a lot of sense. So good. Bootstrapped, 70 grand per month today, about 2016 launch date. What's team size today?
Team size is 5.
5 people?
So we've got
all in Texas?
2 co-founders. No, we've got people in Ohio, Bend, Oregon, Dublin, Ireland, Portugal, just remote everywhere.
So tell me the story of one of these. How'd you find the guy or gal in Portugal?
So that was through another developer that I found, I think, on We Work Remotely, and he worked with them as well. And I tend to like, it's a great tip, but I tend to like working with these micro agencies. So it's like 1 or 2 developers, maybe a designer developer team. They tend to work really well together. So you get that cohesiveness right off the bat, rather than trying to find your own designer, find your own developer. These little micro agencies are really great. So
are they full-time?
They're not. No, just contractor, hourly based.
That's great. And you just make
some retainer based, right?
Yeah, that's great. Talk to me about churn. What's your churn today, and how do you think about that as you move towards enterprise?
Yeah, so churn is always a struggle. We've had in 2017, it was like 15%. Now it's down on average.
Over the whole year or monthly?
Monthly, unfortunately.
And logo or revenue churn?
That's revenue churn.
Revenue churn. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I usually work on revenue churn simply because we've had this reverse user churn,
Yep.
So revenue's going up, churn, users going down. So we focus on revenue churn. And this year it's averaged 7%. So we're working on that and just improving that. And that's definitely how you hire your customers. I think the biggest thing, not just product improvements and onboarding and all that, but the customers that you hire.
And is this 7% revenue churn per month, is that adding back expansion revenue? In other words, is that net or gross?
That's, I'm pretty sure that's net.
You're including upsells. Yeah. Okay, great. That's good. So that's healthy. Going down from 15 to 7. Is there 1 or 2 things you can credit that decline to from 15 to 7?
Yeah, it's hiring the right customers for sure and getting them the right people. So as we added more revenue, per customer, we were able to supply them with like instructional designers, even take on a little bit of that cost. So it's not a huge cost, but the first, hey, we'll give you the first 3-4 hours to work with an instructional designer to get your first course or campaign running, right? So it gets better onboarding. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep. No, that makes good sense. Talk to me about CAC. So you're onboarding these new enterprise customers. What's it costing you to acquire them?
Yeah, so we've been using LinkedIn a lot for acquiring and getting them into a automated webinar, and we've had some really great results. My co-founder does most of the marketing and sales, so I do most of the operations and managing the software team. So he would know better about the exact CAC numbers. But all I know is right now we have a very kind of inconsequential CAC cost.
So what is your payback? Would you say it's like less than a month?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Okay, good. So you're spending less than $700, which is the monthly kind of ARPU. You're spending less than that to acquire them. That's great. So team is 5. You guys are doing most of the sales yourself. It doesn't sound like you have a huge in-house sales team that's killing your revenue. And now you guys obviously you're bootstrapped, so you're cash flow positive, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what do you assume lifetime value is on these enterprise accounts?
Yeah, so lifetime value I'm guessing around 20. So I'm going to we keep it low.
20 grand.
20. Yeah. So if we're trying to do a fifth of, trying to figure out like a fifth CAC, I don't know what the popular number is now, but we usually use the 20 grand LTV for looking at our CAC costs.
Yep. No, that makes sense. So that's assuming they stay with you for how many years?
Roughly 2.5.
Yeah. Because if I divide the 20 grand by 700, it's 29 months. So about 2.5 years. It's right on the money there. Very good. All right. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Favorite business book right now is Made It Stick.
Made to Stick?
No, not that one. So Make It Stick. It's a science of successful learning. So it's a great book that's in our field, and it's one of the ones that influenced us the most with the direction we went with Convey Your. Number
2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Probably Josh Pigford, mostly, simply because I like his style, and I think he's doing a great job of managing his personal life and building a SaaS.
You're talking Baremetrics?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
HubSpot. HubSpot CRM, but really enjoying that.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8.
Okay.
8 to 7.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I'm married, 13 years, have 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and how old are you?
I'm 35, just turned 35.
Are the kids old enough yet to, you can give them business tasks and it's free child labor yet? Are we there yet or no?
Yes. Shh, but I am. I started one on some software stuff, and I hope to kind of make him an intern at some point.
That's great. Okay, Steven, last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
20-year-old self is actually knowing what you want. You get to the point where you get really, really good at working, getting up. That's not a problem. Getting up, getting into the saddle and working. But actually knowing reviewing what you actually want in life on a daily basis.
Yep. Guys, there you have it from Steven. Convey Your launched officially back in 2016. In the process of moving to more enterprise accounts, higher price points, has 100 enterprise customers right now paying $700 a month. It's about 70 grand in revenue. That's about almost flat year over year just because he's going through this transition. Most importantly though, and I think this is telling, 2017 revenue churn per month net average 15%. That's down to 7%. So it's working. The economics are checking out. Got a team of 5 people based in remote locations all around the world. LTV about 29 months or about 20 grand in lifetime value, obviously in dollars there. Payback super, super quick. Again, making corporate training less boring, driving more engagement, and it's really working well for them, especially LinkedIn as a sales channel. Steven, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thank you.